This video is from my series that walks you through how to build a career in film and television production. The first thing we're going to do is answer 3 simple questions. And the reason I do this, it sounds ridiculous, but you forget why you come to Hollywood. Why did you come here? And it's a sentence or a paragraph, doesn't matter. And it can be, it's your reason for coming to this place, right? Do you want to tell stories? Do you want to, meet new people? You want to live in Los Angeles? You want to travel the world? Whatever the reason is. List your 3 to 5 favorite shows, feature or television, of all time. I mean, what you love, not the stuff. We're going to do an exercise a little bit later that gets into current product. Talk about your strengths, talk about your weaknesses. What do you think your strengths are? What do you think your weaknesses are? And then I'm going to look through those parts and I'm just kind of get a sense of it so that we can focus on the weaknesses and build them up as strengths. That's the goal here. So I'll send you a form. It's called the top line questions, comes in a Word file. You can do it in either Word or Google Docs, whichever you like. And the next question is, what are you? What do you want to do, right? Writer, director, actor, producer, or do you want to work in crew in sort of these different areas? You need to choose a path. You got to pick one. You will not be a writer, director, producer out of the gate. And you have to put some brain cells to what you want to do. Think in terms of how you behave, how you operate. How do you think? For example, using a writer-director as a demonstration, are you a writer who develops visually from your experience as a director? Or are you a writer who would rather sit in a cave and not see or talk to people for weeks? The reason I ask, they are uniquely and distinctly different people. And you're going to have to come clean about who you are and what you want. What you want and what you pick need to be in line with one another. Going back to this example of a writer-director, for me, honestly, and I'm talking from my own bias, writing for me is difficult and hard work. Writers write 5 to 6 hours a day, and they read for 10 hours a day. The rest of the time is consumed with sleeping, feeding themselves, and trying to stay out of their head. If you're not that personality type, then you probably don't want to be presenting yourself as a writer. Maybe you're more of a director, maybe more of a producer, maybe you're an actor. Who knows? You're the only one who will be able to answer that question. Think about it. What are you, and where has your focus been? Is there a body of work that you can show off and position yourself in the path you choose? The goal here is to pick a path and get pigeonholed. So in this industry, like I said before, get pigeonholed. Don't be afraid of it. Just do it. We're going to work from the idea that we want to pigeonhole you in the beginning of your career. And as time goes on and as you move up and as you do bigger and different kinds of projects and you've developed a cash pile and a body of work, then you can talk about the idea that, okay, strategically, I'm here. How do I get to the next place and how much time is that going to take? Let's say you're doing, Disney Plus material, doing, kids studio programming. I'm not saying that's where you're going, but just say that's what happens because that's kind of the channel you're in, right? You're like, I want to do hour drama like ER, or I want to do hour drama like Fleabag, or whatever it is. And you sit down and say, with your representation, you say, how do I get from here to there, and how long do we think that's going to take? Because that's where I want to go. But I don't want to abandon this thing that's my cash cow. That's the core of my business, my bread and butter that keeps me in jeans, right? So then we're going to sit and talk about how do we make that transition and what kind of shows do we take? How do we position you in the industry so that people understand what you are and what you've done and where you want to go? So how do you strategically make that change, but get pigeonholed now so you can build your base of your network and then work outward from that as those people get promoted and do different and more interesting things? Okay, the summary. Do the 3 questions. Why did you come here? Your favorite shows, and list your strengths and weaknesses so we can get a better sense of who you are. Pick a path. You're gonna have to do it at some point. You might as well do it now. Are you creative, writer, director, producer, actor? Or are you crew? Any one of the number of departments that you could work in. And then pick a vertical. A deeper discussion about the verticals will come later, so you don't have to do it right now, but you will need to pick one. Now, download the files, get out a blank sheet of paper, and I want you to think hard about what you want and what makes sense for your personality type. And when you're finished, email us the files.